Denise Marseille wants to know, what is your ultimate bucket list vacation and why? All right, the answer to this is going to be probably disappointing and surprising to some people, but at the moment, the thing that I would be most excited about doing that I know is basically impossible would be, it is Sunday, December 4th, 2022, and on this week's edition of Sunday Sofatime, we're talking about cruising, theme parks, hair, books, bathroom doors, and all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you something about being a creator here on YouTube, especially somebody like me who puts out 2, sometimes 3 videos a week. Sometimes you just kind of run out of ideas. And I'm so happy that I have all of you out there who are curious and intelligent. Well, we'll see about that. And interested in sharing experiences, so I asked you for your questions for this week's Sunday Sofa Time, and I'm gonna try to answer a lot of them, and some of these are pretty good questions. Most of them are related to traveling, to cruising. Some of them are a little more of a personal nature, but I'm gonna try to get through just about all of them, and we're just gonna dive right into it. There's about 25, 26 questions that I've chosen here. If I didn't choose your question, it's because
you're dumb and your question was stupid.
I'm just kidding, obviously not. But I just had to pick, I can't answer like 40 questions. That video would be too long. First question is from Facebook. It's from Daniel LED. He asks, where do you see cruising going in 2023 pre-pandemic levels? Will there be more discounts and sales to get people back on ships? Fewer discounts to recoup lost revenue? Will quality issues like food, staffing, maintenance be worked out by 2023? Very good, multiple question. I kind of feel like cruising seems to be basically back to where it was already. Some lines and some ships are still having staffing issues and supply issues, and the prices are going up. We kind of seen that happen now with this new edition. Carnival was the first one to do it, to say that if you order a 3rd entree in the main dining room, that's going to cost you $5 extra. So we've seen like extra fees showing up, things like that. And as far as my experience has been this year, the ships are back to a very high capacity and things seem to be just about back to normal. And I don't know when the quality and staffing issues and things like that are going to be worked out, if it's going to be by 2023. Let's just say I hope so. Next question, also from Facebook, Christy Dixon. Oh man, I've had so many questions now and I can't think of anything. Anyways, I ordered your new book and I should get it Sunday. Any plans to write another one? What Christy's talking about, please allow me to take this moment to advertise. Last year, I wrote a book called Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship. It came out as an ebook reader version. I'm so happy for all the people who decided to support the Very Unofficial Travel Guides by purchasing an electronic copy of it. But since about a week and a half now, there is also a paperback version of it, and the manuscript has been updated now. I've been getting several mails from people who've told me they've gotten their copies already, and it's the updated format with page numbers, and it's much easier to read this original format. If you happen to get one of the original ones without page numbers, then you're really lucky, because there's only a handful of those that got sold and printed. It was much smaller. I don't know. I just took the time to improve it. And so that's available now on Amazon. If you search for Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship, you should be able to find it, or there's a link in the description below. And remember, it's not just about getting a book with 10 fun, crazy, unusual stories about things that have happened to me around the world. It's also a way to support what I do here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. And to answer Christy's question about if I'm considering writing a second book, sure, why not? I just don't know what to write it about. Like, the best travel related stories I could come up with are already in this book. So maybe, do you guys think I should write a fiction book maybe? Because this is nonfiction. Okay, next question is from Instagram. It's from Joy Borkwood. Joy writes, would you ever join a cruise mid-journey? And actually I have. I can't remember the exact circumstances, but it was a Mediterranean cruise that Marcus and I did together, and it was either the Navigator or the Mariner of the Seas. And for some reason, we knew this is the cruise we wanted to do, but I couldn't be there for the first day of it. And so I don't know if I used a travel agent that time or if it went directly through Royal Caribbean, but at least at that time, there was a way to do it. And I think what they called it is downlining. And yeah, so I I flew to, I believe it was Corsica, and that's where I joined the cruise one day after everybody else. And I wasn't the only person doing it either. There was a handful of us in the terminal that they all kind of grouped together, and we all got checked in together. And so I would do that. It is possible. Next question from Instagram from the Uber Cruisers. They write, "Good day, Morgan. Have you ever visited the Southern Hemisphere?" And I think what you're asking is if I've ever been to Australia or New Zealand. The answer is no. I have been to the Southern Hemisphere because I worked in Uruguay for about a half a year, a long time ago. But yeah, that's the only time I've ever been to the Southern Hemisphere. Now going over to YouTube, I also asked for questions there. There's some good questions. First one I want to answer from there is from Melody. She asks, if you could design your own theme park, what theme or themes would it be? What kind of rides or attractions would you have? Well, I'm a huge fan of roller coasters that are part of some kind of story. So there would be a lot of those. I'm talking about rides like Expedition Everest, like Big Thunder Mountain, like Hagrid's Adventure, or Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. I love roller coasters that go inside and outside and through things. So that would probably be something, my park would have a lot of that. Next question from Instagram, Pamela Boyd Wiggins wants to know, how has your life changed since becoming a full-time creator? Well, the main thing that I really enjoy about being a full-time creator is just I have so much less stress. I'm not saying that doing what I do is stress-free, but I am really appreciating only being responsible for myself. That is a fantastic thing. When I made the decision to become a full-time creator, I left a job with a lot of responsibility. It was a creative job, but I still had a lot of managerial type duties, and my department was 60 people. So that was a lot of stress. It was a lot of responsibility, a lot of making decisions, a lot of conflict resolution. And it really got to me at the end. And I'm just so happy to not have that kind of stress anymore. So that's probably like, if I had to pick like something that I'm happiest about, it's just being responsible for myself, being able to pay my bills, doing something that I really love. And let me just take the moment also at this moment to say thank you so much to all of you who come back here and watch these videos every week. Thank you to everybody who signed up for Patreon for the extra videos and extra fun stuff we do over there. Special thanks to everybody who has and will be getting a copy of Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship. You help keep this dream afloat for me, and I'm really thankful for that. Going back over to Facebook, Susanna Pollard says, "Hi Morgan, I saw your book is already sold out. A big congratulations. Do you know when there will be more available? Where is it sold out? Because it shouldn't be sold out. It should be just like eternally printable on Amazon." So Susanna, I'm gonna write back to you on Facebook and ask you anyways, but please let me know where you weren't able to get it, because if you go to Amazon, it should be there. Denise Marseille wants to know, what is your ultimate bucket list vacation and why? All right, I have the answer to this is going to be probably disappointing and surprising to some people, but at the moment, the thing that I would be most excited about doing that I know is basically impossible would be doing like a week-long stay at the Polynesian Resort at Disney World and having it be like it was 10 years ago. So having the parks be not overcrowded, having the old system of the fast pass. First of all, being able to afford staying at the Polynesian Resort at all. I mean, that's never gonna happen. But I would love to go back in time and do a Disney World long-term on-property stay with the way it used to be. I would be so happy for that. And if you want to know about things like realistic things for now, I would love to go to the how do you call them in English? The Maldives, the Maldivian, these tiny islands. I think that would be fascinating. I think that is something I could make happen. Maybe that's a goal for 2023. We'll see. Yvonne Frankel wants to know, have you ever thought of taking a cruise on the Great Lakes here in Canada? Well, you know, I grew up in Minnesota. I went to school in Wisconsin. My grandparents lived in Wisconsin. I've been to Lake Superior several times. I've seen Lake Michigan because I worked close to Chicago at Great America for a summer. I would love to do a Great Lakes cruise. The reason I don't is because they're priced just way too expensive for me. If you look at the prices of Great Lakes cruises, they're like I might as well do the Disney vacation for that much money. I don't know, maybe I'll find a way to get on a Great Lakes cruise somewhat sponsored in a way. Maybe I could make that happen. We'll see. Second part of Yvonne's question is, what is your best advice for taking children on a cruise ages 10 and 11? Well, if you want to have a really great time on a cruise, my best advice in that situation is leave the kids with grandma and grandpa. That's the best way to do it. You're gonna save so much money by not taking the kids on the cruise, and it's gonna just be way more fun. So leave the kids at home. That's my advice. An alternate piece of advice would be look for a ship that has a lot of activities, like the newer Royal Caribbean ships, the ones that have been redone. Most of the newer Carnival ships, most of the newer MSC ships, they have things like, great big kids splash areas, water parks, really big, cool kid areas. That would be my advice, but I've never traveled with kids on a cruise, so I'm not the expert on that. Michelle Salzo Washburn wants to know, what are the deets on the Florida trip? Well, we're gonna be in Florida the end of January, and I mentioned in a video recently that I am going to be creating a fan, feels weird to me to say fan, but like a place where we can meet up. I did this a couple years ago. It wasn't very well organized. Still almost 20 people, I think 23 people came maybe even. It was great to meet all of you. And I just wanted to, when I look back to how that went, there's a lot of room for improvement, and I would like to offer more to the people who come. And I've been trying to organize that, and this is something I want to tell you about. It has not been easy, and it looks like it's going to be really expensive. From the feedback I've gotten from a lot of you, I think probably around 30, 35 people will be in the area that time that want to come. Maybe it will be more, maybe it will be less. I know how things go with planning something like this. I mean, planning to be at something like this. And so I sent out a couple mails to locations that I thought it would be fun to have at. The first one that wrote back, without calling them out and without giving away too many details, is a place where you might go to drink a lot of margaritas. I said I'd like to set up a social event for me and like 35 to 40 friends. It would just be us getting together in some sort of semi-private area. It would be great if there was a microphone so I could sort of talk and entertain. What are the possibilities? They were like, sure, we have a great place for you. We would love to set this up for you. All we're gonna need is a minimum spend of
$6,000.
plus 23% gratuity. I also wrote to a house where you might go if you're feeling blue. They said, oh yeah, we'd love to host this event. All we're gonna need is a minimum spend of $4,000 plus 23% gratuity. And if you come with more than 35 people, it's going to be
$8,000.
So I think I need to set up an event location in Orlando, because obviously that's a way to make a lot of money. As soon as I'm done recording this video, I do have a call set up with some place to see if we can make this work out. Please be patient. I'm really looking forward to getting together with any of you who want to come, but I'm running into some hurdles here, making it into what I would like it to be. And at the moment, it might just be us all kind of crashing someplace together, just, showing up, and happen to be 35 people all at the same time. I'd like it to be more than that. I'm still working on it. Please stay posted. And I'm gonna get to a few more of your questions right after this commercial break. Did you get one? What was it about? Write it in the comments below, please. Next question is from Septum Sin. Septum Sin writes, any chance of the Cone Lady shits and towels making a comeback? No. I don't want anything to do with the Cone Lady shits. And of course, I know you're talking about the Cone Lady shirts, but I bet you didn't realize that you made that typo. You actually wrote Cone Lady shits. All that merchandise, the t-shirts and things like that I had available for a while, I have taken all that offline because the supplier I was using, I had so many problems with them, and for the amount of money that I was having to ask you to put out to get one of these things, I was getting this much of it. I talked about this also in a recent video. The price of the towels, I think, was up to something like $45, and I wasn't even getting $3 of that. And it's not just about me. I mean, I don't want to be oh, I need to make more money. But when I created these things, it was a way to, I like to try to find creative ways that the people who want to support the Very Unofficial Travel Guides can do it. And I just realized that's at least the way that I had it set up, that was an awful way, because the company providing the merchandise was getting 97% of the proceeds. So at the moment, there is no merchandise, but I'll try to find a way to come up with some again sometime. Next comment is from Vera Charles on Facebook. Vera writes, did your bathroom door issue spring from the peeping landlord? Okay, this is gonna be one that people who haven't read the book and people who haven't been here for a while, I need to explain something. I really don't appreciate this current trend of bathrooms becoming semi-private or actually not private at all, like in cruise ship cabins and in hotel rooms. You know, these see-through doors, these windows into the bathroom, sliding doors that don't close all the way. I do not like that. I like to have my privacy while I'm using the toilet. I think most people do, and my auntie Vera is talking about traumatic experience I had when I was living in New York with a roommate. I don't want to go into all the details about that, but if you read Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship, you can find out what happened and why I needed to get out of that apartment as soon as possible. And to answer your question, I don't know. I think I had the problem before then. And is it a problem? Is it an issue? Who likes somebody to listen to them and see them and hear them pooping? If you like that, fine. I don't. I think most people don't. Two similar questions. One's from Sue Jones. The other one is from Debbie Strager. They want to know when I'm coming to Australia. I don't have any plans to come to Australia at the moment, and the main reason is because the flight is so long and I just can't imagine doing that in economy class. If for some reason something happens and all of a sudden I can afford to fly there like economy plus or business class or something, then I would love to come down there and visit Australia and New Zealand, but at the moment I don't have it planned. If anybody has some miles they want to give me, let me know. All right, just a couple more questions here. One of them is from Mumblebrain. They ask, are you happy with your hair after the surgery or do you regret it? By the way, it looks great. Thank you. For those of you who don't know this, the beginning of this year, I took a little break and went and got hair transplant surgery. So this is what I used to look like. You can see my forehead was much bigger. And now I'm extremely happy. I wish I had done it years earlier. It was so much easier than I thought. I have so much more hair now. I can style it. I can do different things with it. It's falling into my eye. Yes, thanks for asking. Extremely happy with it. Would recommend anybody who's considering it to do it if you can afford it. Back to Facebook, Brandon Fish wants to know, have I heard from Dino lately? Did the COVID get him? I haven't heard from Dino lately, but if you guys really want, I can try to get in touch with him. Let me know in the comments below. Tammy Wolf Troxel wants to know the best ways to book a cruise, how to find the best deals, booking with an agent versus direct or a third-party site. This is a tricky one. I haven't used a travel agent for quite a while now because I gained access to this special like online community for travel professionals. So like people who work as flight attendants and things like that can get access to this portal. Is it a portal? I'm having a hard time explaining what it is. It's a website where there's special deals for people in the travel industry. So that's the way I book my cruises now. But before that, I was using a travel agent who specializes in cruises. There are a lot of them out there. If we're talking about cruises, there are travel agencies that specialize in cruises, that specialize in Disney vacations, that specialize in all the things, like specific things you might want to do. That's a good way to find good deals and somebody who knows a lot about that specific area of the travel genre. The only advantage you have going through a travel agent is an advantage and a disadvantage. The disadvantage to it is if there's anything you want to change after you've planned it, then you have to go through them. But the advantage is if you have a problem while you're traveling, then you can leave it to them to take care of it and then go out and still enjoy doing whatever you're doing in the meantime. So it's kind of a toss-up. I hope that answers your question, Tammy. Chesley Lee wants to know if I've ever cruised out of Galveston, Texas, and if I have any tips for staying there the day before. The answer is no, I don't. Sorry, haven't done it yet, but I'm sure that there are people who have, so check the comments below this video, and anybody who has advice about cruising from Galveston, write it down there so she can check that out. Next comment is from Becky Gifford. Becky wants to know, when are you getting a new sofa? Well, Becky,
why don't you tell me when you're getting a new face?
I'm just kidding, Becky, and I know that you were just kidding about the sofa. Actually, I think we're gonna keep this sofa for a while. This one's in pretty good shape. The other one we have here, the one that we sit on the most, is tired. We need a new sofa. We went looking for a new one, and the only ones we found were either way too expensive for our budget, or we're gonna take like 5 months to get here. So we haven't ordered anything yet. Okay, this has been a lot of questions. I hope you're still here. If you're still here, the secret word is endurance. Please fit that into your comments somehow so I know that you watched until the end. But the final question I want to get into is probably also going to be a longer answer. It's a longer question, but it's something that's important to me. It's from Margaret L. Margaret writes, what do you think about the YouTube algorithms forcing creators to use more and more sensationalism and clickbait just to get views? Some are managing to keep it classier than others, and I'm just wondering if you think there is a breaking point with how far it will go, and or if there's a better way to get views without being too sleazy. Some of my favorites are doing it, and their thumbnails do not represent who they appear to be, at least who they present as in their content. Some other creators aren't doing it, and they aren't getting nearly the views that the other creators are getting on very similar videos. It all just seems like a big mess to me, and I would appreciate your thoughts on it and the future of YouTube as a creator. Thank you for all your work over the years, keeping us entertained and informed. Well, thank you very much for that, and thank you for this great question, Margaret. And you know, this is really tricky because it's something that, yeah, I've been doing too. And let me just show you this example. As I'm looking for this, I have to turn on the internet on my phone, and you're probably going to hear it interfering with the microphone. But if we look at recent videos that I've uploaded, and I upload, you know, like 2 or 3 videos a week, I don't get the kind of views that like Don and Tony and Emma are getting, but that's fine. My success, I don't judge my success on the number of views I get. I look at other factors. But just like as an example, when I look at a video that I uploaded 8 days ago, where I write, I got stitches on a cruise ship, again, where I announced the paperback version of the book, that video has 2.9, so like almost 3,000 views. And the next video I uploaded is one of these videos where it's a very sensationalized title and thumbnail. It says we were denied a dinner table, cruise ship dining reservations, and disgusting port buses. So I have some sort of sizzle words in the title. I have a very sensational thumbnail, but you know, it did sort of happen. That's not a total lie. And that video already in the first week has 32,000 views. So my job as a creator from the business side of it is to look for content that people are interested in watching. But just creating it does not mean that people are going to watch it, unfortunately. Even if you're subscribed to the channel, that doesn't mean that you're going to get a reminder that this video has been uploaded. YouTube decides when you start your YouTube app or you start it on your TV or your computer, YouTube decides which 5, 10, 20, depending on how big your screen is, which 20 videos are going to show up in that frame. And YouTube tends to pick the ones with those kind of thumbnails, with those kind of titles, regardless of what is actually in the video. It's unfortunate, I don't like it either, but if it's going to allow me to continue living this dream, then I have to tell you,
I'm gonna keep doing it.
Of course, I think you know me by now. A lot of you know me by now. I've been here for how many years on YouTube? I'm not gonna start like just creating total lies. There are other people who do that, but I'm not going to be one of them. This example with the Royal Caribbean thing, we were denied a table. It felt like being denied a table because the first night we walked in there with no reservation, without calling or doing anything in advance, and they were like, welcome, come in. Would you like to sit in the back or by the window? And so that's why when we went there the second night and just showed up and they were like, excuse me, if you don't have a reservation, there's no way you're getting a table. That's why it felt like being denied. So it's not clickbait if you ask me, but it is very sensational. So yeah, I know that it's happening. I don't know if there is any solution. I mean, I have almost 60,000 subscribers now, and if just every 60,000 would look in their subscription box, like actively look in their subscription box for a video from me, that would make a big difference. But that's not the way that most people use YouTube. That's not the way I use YouTube either. I know that it's not like that. There's really just a handful of channels that I actively every couple days look for in my feed to see if they have a new video. And otherwise, I also just look, what is YouTube suggesting to me? Oh yeah, that's right, this channel. Oh yeah, this channel. So I'm gonna do what I have to do to keep the very unofficial travel guides popping up in people's feeds because that's my job. I hope that answers your question, and I hope that I could get to your question. Like I said, there are many more here that I didn't get to. Thank you for those of you whose question I did get to. And once again, thanks everybody for your support here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. I will be here again in front of the red sofa next week with another topic that I come up with. I'm sure I'll come up with one by then. Maybe I will take another question and dissect it into a full Sunday Sofa Time. And the next video going online here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides will be a tour of our junior suite or mini suite on the Wonder of the Seas. See you soon.